Welcome, friends, to RadPod and Chill, where we let our hair down, where everybody but Hi-Fi lets their hair down.
What?
This is our weekly recap of our weekly episode, and we just like to keep it a kind of chillaxed environment, which means less producing and less work for me.
Speaking of
a little bit of work for Connor.
Speaking of that, I have to bow out for a second because I can't see anybody. I will be right back. Don't worry.
Okay.
All right, we'll be here.
And by the way, that's our friend Jim Stewartson. And upstairs from me is High Fidelity. And then Sean Connor. My name is Heidi Kuda. This is a recap of our weekly investigative show where we focus on disinformation from a very global perspective. I'm so proud of all the guests that we've had because, like I say, we've, Estonia, Australia, UK, Norway. Well, that's what I was getting to. Canada. How amazing that we happen to have booked our friend from the center of, that focuses on hate, bigotry, and extremism, bias and extremism, who came out of a far right movement and now is helping others, achieve life after hate. How amazing that we had that booked before the trucker convoy op. And how op it is clearly to those of us who, investigate disinformation. I'm looking forward to Jim coming back. This usually gives me an opportunity to talk behind his back. But, the other night we were pulling an all-nighter investigating as a team. And, I learned to be an investigative producer from, I believe, one of the really, truly great minds in the field. And the way the four of us work together, and you three guys in particular, just blew my mind. I mean, it's really just an honor. And Sean, I know that you have a litigation support firm, but how did you become such an exemplary open source intelligence investigative brain? I mean, holy crap.
Well, I have a graduate degree, so I learned how to research in the library for a long time. And then, hey, there's Jim.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I was just talking about, go ahead, Sean.
Working for a lot of these law firms, I guess I was doing that kind of research. I just didn't know people call it OSINT research. But yeah, we have to do that all the time for, putting together briefs or putting together memos. We get a huge bunch of documents we got to go through, and then we have to find connections in the real world. So I guess we were doing that anyway, sort of the 10 years that I was working in a law firm before I started my own firm. And then I just didn't know that's what it was called. Because the one thing I would just try, I like technology, so I would just look for, different tools and tips and things that you can find online. There's little electronic discovery forums and communities that I was a part of for working for these firms. Those guys, law firms will pay a lot of money for technology if they get in the door. So we had some pretty cool stuff, some neat AI, like researching tools that I use that are expensive. But
the only reason I'm giggling is because our meetings go like this. It's like, Sean, hey guys, I got this really cool new app, this really cool new technology. We should do this, this, and this, and this. And then there's silence, and I'm like, I'll make a Google Doc. And then Sean goes, you fucking boomers.
Fucking boomers.
That's how our TED Talks go. But
That's
hey,
true.
It's hilarious. So Hi-Fi, your network map brain just is unbelievable. We'll be in the middle of an interview and he'll be like, yeah, so the 5 Baltic countries that had da 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 da, and then he'll rattle off the leaders and the various treaties they had, and then get to his question. I'm like, how does your brain do that?
Every name, he has these every name committed to memory. It's ridiculous.
Without studying, it's just there lodged in his brain. What is that?
So for 20 plus years, I was IT. Ultimately, I became a solution architect, and I designed multi-global networks for companies. So I would have to remember, this server name in this cluster attaches to this switch, and these ports on this switch, and that connects to this upstream switch, and that's the core, and here's their router, and that goes across this transatlantic cable over to this country and this data center to this router.
Got
And
it.
so I taught my brain to memorize nodes in a network. Yeah.
Nevertheless,
And
Would
that's
you
what
be
these
we're
flipping
looking at
switches in
now.
that brain.
Yeah.
would you be like
Well,
the waiter that doesn't take down the notes at the restaurant? I never
actually, no.
I get super
What
nervous when that happens.
when I waited tables so I waited tables, then I became a cab driver, then I got into IT.
Right.
But when I waited tables, I always wrote shit down because
Weird.
I didn't want
I
to
hate
mess that up. Plus, I have
I
a
hate
written record of what they actually said. So when they say, "Excuse me, this is wrong," I'll say, "No, let me show you what I wrote down."
You don't
you
say
Always
no.
keep
You're like,
receipts.
yes.
you look just like somebody who was a waiter and then a cab driver and then a solutions architect.
And then
Yeah,
Just
IT
thinks
guy.
exactly. You can see
not a
that.
weird career path at all, kids. No.
Yeah.
Well, actually, obviously, with both waiting and cab driving, you get to learn about people and the human condition. So it prepares you for a life of studying it. Hey, Jim, where'd you get your investigative brain from?
Um, I was thinking about that. I think the two things. One, I basically started everything on the internet at the beginning of it. I moved to San Francisco in 1992, and by 1993,
Wow,
I had a company making web pages. Uh,
wow,
yeah, which was extremely early to be making web pages.
right.
And so there was just something about it that um, captured me, and I ended up basically making a career out of building experiences on the internet. I did
Wow.
3D games and virtual reality and augmented reality. The second thing, though, that I think prepared me was building alternate reality games, because
Yeah.
these guys are using alternate reality game techniques to psyop people into getting pulled into this cult, right? um,
Yeah.
what's funny is recently there's a narrative by my trolls that somehow I'm orchestrating an alternate reality game somehow, and everything I say comes true. I think, so I'm not sure how that's alternate. But
I,
nonetheless, that
I want to
that
be
that
an
That seems
NPC.
like the standard reality.
that dumbass idea, yeah, I don't. Well, the thing is, the standard reality is so fucking weird that it feels like an alternate reality game, but it's true, right? You've got fascists trying to take over the country that have been running psyops on American
The
citizens
world.
since 2016.
Yeah.
That's fucking weird. It sounds like a plot of a movie, but it's true. So there's nothing I could do about that. But the reason why I think I'm fairly good at figuring these motherfuckers out is because I invented half the shit they're using. So I can see through their LARPs because I was LARPing in 2004. I could see through their
That
technical fuckery because I was inventing that shit for fun. I did
actually
that stuff
that's
for
a
I
that's a
invented
entertainment,
good
that shit,
for
point, Jim.
motherfucker.
stories, not
Because
for
part of the
fucking
reason I
people's
see the
minds.
trolls, part of the reason I see the trolls is because I spent all that time on something awful in 4chan
Yeah.
when I was a young angry man,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
I know what we did. I know the tactics. I saw the tactics,
Yeah.
and
So
when I realized, oh shit,
when you're a
And
cabbie or a waiter,
now you're just an old angry man.
uh,
get off my
wow,
lawn.
actually, during both, during while I was a waiter at Commander's Palace in New Orleans,
Yeah.
and when I drove a cab in New Orleans, I was doing the something awful on 4chan stuff, because that was late 90s and then into the 2000s, early 2000s.
Well, it prepared you
Because
well. It prepared you well. So I got two things I need to say, Sean. One is that we have a complaint that your audio keeps cutting out. And what they don't know is that you're actually a variation of Boomhauser and you
yes,
swallow
ma'am,
your words. So it's not just
I
that your
do.
audio cuts out,
Yeah.
it's that every other word he swallows. So you
Yes.
got to listen really carefully.
Okay.
And when we actually have funding, we'll actually have subtitles every time Sean talks. We'll get it worked
Sorry about
out.
yeah. That's right. I was raised in East Texas, so sometimes I can just drift into a little semi.
I work off an iPad and a mic, a little shotgun mic that a hi-fi sends me. That usually doesn't work, but on the farm right now, I seem to be getting a little bit of a reception. So that was number one. And number two, just to Jim's point, I just want to tell you what I was doing in '92. I was faxing in my copy for my LA Times column that I was getting paid $90 a week to write. So while you were inventing cool stuff on the interwebs, I was using fax. And why I bring that up is because, this kind of weird warped world we're in right now gives me an opportunity to reflect on things. And I was thinking about how when I wrote Tupac's Bodyguards book, Frank Alexander's book, I got a call from somebody who I didn't know was a troll. The term could be applied. I thought it was a colleague friend of mine. And it turned out that that colleague friend was not really a friend. And the next day after that call, I started getting faxed death threats to my fax machine,
Jeez.
from somebody affiliated with this picture, like a death row records affiliate. So
Whoa.
I
By
had
fax.
by
That's
fax,
by fax, yeah.
by fax,
By
by
fax.
fax.
That's creepy. Did you see?
FAXX.
That is
Yeah.
They
OG.
were faxing me the death threats then, right? So I did what
They couldn't page you with them,
my pager was blowing up while I was getting the faxes,
right?
right? So I did what the only thing I could think to do, and I called my daddy. And I said, Daddy, what do I do? I'm getting these fax death threats. Do I take my name off the book or not? And my dad paused for a second and he said, You keep your name on that book. You wrote that book. You go get the credit for that book and you just stand strong. And I'm like, okay, Daddy, that's what I'm going to do. And I wrote that book, and it's a beautiful book. And I still get letters now and again from people who have read it because Tupac is so loved by so many all these years
Don't let the
later.
terrorists win.
But I was thinking about that because my dad is, very classic immigrant, very much like you do the right thing, you pay your taxes, you be a good American. No one was a more grateful American than my German father. And very conservative minded. He was a bleeding heart liberal as a man, but very conservative minded. And a lot of fear. He came out of war, and so he had tons and tons of fear. But it was just so interesting that he was just like, no, you go do that. You keep your name on that, and it means a lot to me. So I bring it up because we are all people doing this work together. People know who we are, and it's strange days, but I think that those of us who've been sticking our neck out to do this kind of work, where people know where we are, who how to reach out to us, have a little bit more credibility than those who are hiding behind avatars attacking people relentlessly. So that's all I
put your
have
name
to
on
say.
it. Put your name on it.
Yeah. I mean, high fidelity goes
well,
by high
that,
fidelity,
by
but
the way,
that's all is
I'm
because
only
he's
gonna
high.
say
Well, that's just so they don't get me fired again.
Oh, that's right.
They already got me
Everyone knows your
fired from
name.
one job. They already assisted in
Yeah.
ruining my marriage.
Yeah.
Fuck them. It's on now.
Yeah, I know. So what's up, Jim?
Oh, by the way, Death Row Records. Shout out to Snoop Dogg for buying Death Row Records. Good on you, bro.
Yeah,
I
Snoop's
was just going to
great.
say, speaking of names, um,
Okay.
there are people out there who have spent a long period of their life trying to fuck people up, including me, including my friends, including my
Yeah,
co-hosts,
for
including my
reals.
partners,
And other people as
for a
well.
long time. These are
Yep.
they are professional people who are set up to destroy people like us.
Yeah, right. Word.
And those people need to understand that that has consequences. You can't hide behind an anonymous, harmful LARP for a fucking year and attack
Forever.
people and think you're going to get away with it.
Yeah.
And the person who I'm talking to right now knows or should
But we
that
know.
there are going to be consequences for this. I know who
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been hurting people a long time.
And just like,
Um,
just
yeah.
like,
We live. We know who pays you. The game is up, yo.
Well, you know what?
Yeah, I mean,
It would have been,
I honestly like getting kicked off Twitter. Fucking sucks. Like it's so dumb. It's all stupid, but it has given me a period of time in which I can focus,
yeah.
and
scroll.
it has illuminated a lot of things. And
Yeah.
the the thing is that the attacks, all this trolling, all this chaos, all this like negativity is the same thing as QAnon from the same people. It's just on the other side of the political aisle, and they set these two things up to fight with each other.
Well, what's
And
cool is that they could have just left us alone, and then they could just go ahead
well,
and keep harming
but
people.
but
But
Well,
that
their
nope.
these
bosses
are
would have
active
gotten mad.
measures. They don't leave you alone. It's called the Gerasimov doctrine. The Gerasimov
Right.
doctrine is the idea of perpetual war against Russia's enemies, especially the more powerful ones, where they can't
Right.
actually win a kinetic war. So they try
Right.
to destroy you from the inside out. And that's what they've been doing since, well, for a long time, for 100 years, but
Yeah.
since 2016 in very, very, clear ways that
And
I've identified, which is why I have been getting the treatment I've been getting. But,
well,
I also don't give up, and I
no,
figured
you
you
don't.
motherfuckers out. So
And here's the other
sorry about
interesting
that.
component about that, but I just want to tag on to that before we move on. We had a team discussion about what our objectives are, and it occurred to us that our objectives aren't just to uh, preserve our own integrity and to ensure that that there was public admission, public apology about what happened to us. We realized that it's more important to expose the network so the harm stops happening to everybody. It's not just about us, it's about the continuation. So we decided that it wasn't just about us, it was about stopping this from happening to anybody else. So wish us well, and on that note, um, our Patreon keeps growing. We want to thank you so much. I believe that Connor is brewing up some more gifts for those who support us. And I
That's
know
right.
Hi-Fi is working on his newsletter, but do you have any little teaser thing that you can show our friends?
No, thanks, Heidi, for just bringing that on me.
Oh, I thought you did have something that you were going to show, that a little
I got,
animated treat.
I got
Well,
some
how about
anagrams.
this? Oh, you want to do anagrams? I was going to say can we
Well,
do
we're
the
going to get
Canada
to
thing, because I
anagrams.
love the Canada thing. I love
Hmm?
the Canada thing. Can we please do the Canada thing?
The Canada
Canada.
stories?
What
Yeah.
Canada?
What
I thought
Canada's
you were going to
thing?
do that animated thing, Connor. I thought you had a little animation to show tonight.
The
Am I
one that
wrong,
you,
or is that for the episode?
that's for the episode. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got
I'm not
you.
going
All
anywhere.
right. Yeah. So
Jim sighting
Let's,
for a second.
let's jump into Canada. And speaking of Canada and LARPing, a lot of the funding that they now have found to be, of course, tied to right-wing groups and organizations. And
Word.
I have an anagram for one of those. So we'll check that out right now. For the Council the Council for National Policy. Anybody want to take a shot?
Ooh,
at
that's
that?
a good one. That's a long one.
Oh my
Council
God, the
for National
CNP.
Policy. Yeah.
Council for National Policy. How about the fossilized set tries to screw over everybody?
Close. Very close.
Damn.
All right. Let's see.
The lizard. No.
The lizard. Eat punk. Yeah. Here it is. Let's see what it is. All right. Council for National Policy.
Anagrams it to.
Your colonial pain conflict.
Ooh.
Nice.
Oh
Nice.
my God,
That's
Your
incredible.
colonial,
Let's see that
because
again.
that's what
that's
this
fucking
is.
crazy.
Ready?
Your
That
wall
takes a while.
colonial
We have got to send that to Ann Nelson.
How crazy is that?
Ann Nelson and Brent.
That's hysterical.
Alpress.
Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
Watch. I think it's funny how long it takes the Y to get over there. That's crazy.
The
dude.
Y's
So
just strolling down
Yeah.
all the
Our
consonants.
It's yours.
your colonial pain conflict. That's just
Wow,
Great.
that is insane. That is incredible. I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's amazing.
I love these things. So I got one more later, but this is good for now.
Okay, so I do, before we get to Canada, I do have one thing I want to say. There are a number of people who keep wanting me to give my opinion and on an issue, and they'll know what I'm talking about. And I keep on saying no comment because I learned from Truffaut, I think, that as long as you have conviction about some things, you don't have to have an opinion about everything. And sometimes that's your best move. But because people continually ask my opinion about something that's none of my business, I have decided to defer everyone to my legal counsel, the ghost of Anna Nicole Smith. And if you have that statement by Anna.
I sure do. Here we go.
So when people ask you your opinion about a certain thing,
I know nothing about nothing. Oh, yes. Oh. I know nothing.
Jeez.
bingo.
So,
Oh, it's so painful,
know,
though. God.
No, you know what? Actually, so truthfully, like sometimes just the right thing to do is not to comment. People have things they need to work out, and it's none of my beeswax. And I defer everybody to Anna Nicole. If there's something that you do not have an opinion on because it's not your lane, I defer you to the ghost Anna Nicole Smith, who knows nothing about nothing. She said that in the back of a limousine when the Iraq War was breaking out. And her eyes were getting really big because she clearly knew nothing about nothing. But I also, it was Howard K. Stern was in the back with her.
Yeah.
But I do want to say something about Anna Nicole Smith because she is a great parable in my life. When I was in broadcast news and Anna Nicole Smith gave up the ghost, television news milked that bosomy beauty
I remember that
for about 18 months because she got such great ratings. And it was quite a lesson for me that my time was, numbered. I wasn't going to participate in such nonsense for too long. But anyway, she got ratings, man.
Has anybody watched the Pam and Tommy Hulu thing?
No.
The reason that I find it interesting is because it's a real
I
snapshot.
saw another video with Pam and Tommy, but
that's what the show's about. That's what it's about. Aside from that, in the video and the tape, it's fascinating to go back.
I've seen the source.
See that time period of technology because they sold the tape online, right? And everybody was like, "What is the internet?" And just to see them processing that, excuse me, and how obviously different it was.
I have a Tommy story for you guys. I used to produce a show called Fox Rocks with 2 X's.
Oh my God.
4 X's. Fox 2 X's. Rocks 2 X. Was it 2?
Was it extreme?
4 X's?
Somebody's gonna clip that. Heidi.
Well,
gonna clip
let me tell you something. That was back before I was sober. And
Fox does not, in fact, rock. Sorry.
Well, this show actually did, and luckily I have it all on beta.
Beta.
Super.
Beta.
Do we even have a beta player?
I kept it all on beta. Are you kidding? I was a night club writer at the LA Times at the same time that I was producing Fox Rocks. And
It's
so
superior.
I knew what was happening in the clubs, and I'd go film Sugar Ray one night and No Doubt another night, and whoever was playing some really great goth stuff. But one night, I don't remember which band it was Tommy Lee was in. Maybe it was just his own thing, but it was right after he got out of jail for anger management. And I went on the bus and hung out with him, and he had such a great time in jail. And you know why?
I'm not
Do you want to
surprised.
know why?
Why?
Because it
Yeah.
was so quiet. Nobody
Wow.
was, knocking on his door or blowing up his pager. He was
Hmm.
able just to sort of be with himself. And, I always kind of
That's
appreciate
one way to
that
do
because
it.
I figured if I ever end up in the Hoosgow, at least it'll be quiet. Maybe I'll get some work done. Yeah. Anyway, he was real sweet. Nice guy. Yeah. I know. That's for another book. Yeah. The meta
Good
book
time
about
to-
writing books. I interviewed the singer of The Damned on a bus too. I did a lot of interviews on buses. Anyway,
Danzig?
back to our regularly scheduled program on
You interviewed
disinformation.
Danzig?
I was in a Danzig music video.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a picture of that somewhere.
Danzig was funny, man.
Danzig.
I just
I'm singing from the
Mother.
Dam.
I just
Yeah.
remember that video of that big metal dude knocking him out. Like, that was funny.
Tell
It's
your
not
children not
funny.
to walk my way.
Says the
Well,
erstwhile troll.
Well, okay, so men are stupid and they have to face off and get in fights all the time, right?
Yeah.
No,
And
they're
like, instead of beating the crap out of each other, I don't know.
Oh my gosh, this is so fun. This is so fun.
Tell us about Canada, dude. Tell us about Canada.
Yeah, let's talk about
Yeah, let's talk about Canada.
Okay.
All right. I'm over.
What do you know?
What do I know about Canada? I know that the Canadian Trucker Convoy and their fundraising on Give, Send, Go got popped earlier in the week for having an unsecured cloud storage bucket, is what they call it, a bucket with a bunch of driver's licenses and passports in them from all the donors.
Wow.
And then it gets better. And then they said, okay, we fixed it. But they didn't. Another security researcher found that the S3 bucket was still unsecured. And
Now,
then
to be clear, that's what we showed at the episode where they were making 20,000, 25,000 donations, making like, $1,000 a minute.
215. Somebody dropped 215 grand in that fucking thing.
That process? Let's see if that process.
Well, they did say that they're finding American evangelical groups, far right groups, think tanks, all kind of. Well, we discussed transnational white supremacy, right?
I want the evangelicals back. I want them back on the side of caring about people.
You know who else just raised a fuck ton of money? That my friend Hi-Fi showed me is Julian Assange.
Yes,
yeah.
Julian Assange.
Well, no, you have to tell them where we saw it first. We first saw it on.
I'll get there, bro.
All right.
So Julian Assange raised $52 fucking million from an NFT sale, and we saw it on Russia TV.
Russia Today.
But here's the thing you don't know, Hi-Fi, is that I went and I knew, without even looking, that my old friend E, who now goes by E Will Help You on
What's
Telegram.
On Parler? Oh, on Telegram now. Is that where?
No. Yeah, Parler's done. He was on Telegram for like a month, after we got him kicked off of Twitter. Anyway, he's still on Telegram, this fucking British LARPer or New Zealand, I don't know, whatever, something. But he is all about the Julian Assange and has been since 2020 when he was running the E account with Jason Sullivan. Anyway, I go over there and sure enough, he's like, yeah, we just raised $52 million for Julian Assange. This fucking LARP raised
Wow.
$52 million. A LARP raised $52 million for Julian Assange in Web3 NFT crypto bullshit money.
Sold an
Wow, man.
NFT.
I mean,
Wow.
how fucking like Russian stupid,
Okay,
like, oh
can
my
we
God.
talk about, so Russia has a history of, and I don't say Russia I mean Russian people. I love the Russian people. I hate the
Me
Russian
too.
oligarchs and their government. Right? Those are the
Mm-hmm.
corrupt ones. They are the ones
Mm-hmm.
stealing
Oh,
from their
Russians
people.
are awesome, man. I
Yeah,
like
but
Mm-hmm.
Russians.
what they did, what
Free the Russian people.
oligarchs,
We're trying to
is
free
they're
the Russian people.
trying to, but they're laundering money through forged art, like physical
Mm-hmm.
art, like like fake
Mm-hmm.
Fabergé eggs and crap like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like
So
that
what they've
$500
done
million
now,
painting that the Saudi prince bought.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But what they're doing now is they've turned it digital, and it's
Mm.
ridiculous because it doesn't. It's a scam,
It's
obviously.
Oh
it,
yeah.
they sold
Well, they're
$52
trying to
million worth of
diversify, you know?
fucking cartoons, like
But
little cartoons.
but here's the best
Fifty
Monkey
part.
fucking $2
Here,
million worth of cartoons for Julian Assange to get fucking rescued from his Russian op. Fuck, what the
head.
fuck is going on? How is any of this allowed, right now?
Well,
Guess who
Mhm.
banned cryptocurrency? Fucking Russia and
Russia
China,
and
because they're
China,
smart,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
they know what's
well,
going on.
because they know what it is.
Yep.
They know it's a financial weapon of mass destruction.
this is the
Fuck.
part where I say every episode that our democratic freedoms are being used against us. And I'm a little bit tired of saying it. I would actually like our laws to catch up with us. And I think the tweet of the day, and I did send it to you, Connor, but I can try to recite it from memory, is the actor who's wonderful, Diedrich Bader. Did I say that right? His son said something very brilliant today, and his father, the actor Diedrich, tweeted it. And his son said that when the former guy gets his library, he's going to have an entire wing dedicated to all of the crimes he committed that he didn't get arrested for.
Mm.
Something to that
You'd need
effect.
a fucking library for it. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
So, so,
amazing.
so I'm
He's just
thinking,
committing crimes all day long, every day, just like
Right.
whoop-a-doo. Like,
I'm thinking that we actually nominate that kid, his son, for president, and maybe that
sure,
kid will actually clean this shit up, you know? Who isn't
somebody
tired
should.
of seeing like every day? Oh, by the way, I don't want to mention the name, but a enabling New York Times reporter who I'm not fond of released a book. And the book, interestingly, my friend Tracy Green and I, Tracy's an incredible trial lawyer. We did a thread a year or two ago on the confidence man, the con man. It's basically confidence man is a term for a con man, and there was actually a book written about that. Well, this reporter releases a book about calling Trump the confidence man, and you know in that book there's information that would have been pertinent, I would say, to national security. And it's like, so you know are you like a I don't know, man. I don't know, like
You're
I
trying to say,
guess
come on.
I guess you're a reporter, but like if you have information that's pertinent to national security, I mean, maybe she turned it over, I don't know. But I don't know, I wouldn't just sell books on this shit. I would actually be trying actively to see a perp walk occur sooner rather than later, and particularly before November. You know, reporter used to mean a different thing back in the day. It was like cops and firefighters. You were doing a duty. It was a service. I don't understand this merger of like PR and normalization
Well, I mean,
and
Yeah.
enabling.
I mean,
Yep.
part of the remarkable thing about, what's been going on with all of us is, the fucking journalist blue checks that participate in this shit, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, I
That
know
are
who we're
supposed to
talking
be,
about. I know who we're
Or yeah,
talking
and
about.
they know who I'm talking about too. I'm not going to say their
Yeah.
names. I'm not going to give them the satisfaction. But They know who they are, and they have checks, and they're out there LARPing like fucking like researchers and experts, and nothing could be
Yeah.
further from the truth. They are there
No.
to divert you and attack other people. So
Yeah.
that,
Word.
speaking of reporters and what they're supposed to be, they're also not supposed to collaborate with trolls to destroy people's volunteer
Oh,
groups.
I know.
They're not
But
supposed to do that. That's not a thing a
Oh,
reporter is supposed to
but
do.
but
well,
you know what's
some of them
funny is
have
by
that
so
vice.
doing they really
So
out themselves though. Uh,
Well,
I,
yeah.
yeah, they do.
I want to apologize to one of our viewers because she tried watching the last episode of RadPod and Chill and said, "You guys are always talking over each other." It's just, but this is kind of what RadPod and Chill is. It's sort of like that Italian household where everyone sort of yells over the table in order to, like, have the last word. It's cool. I like it
Um,
just the way it is.
What? So somebody is saying Osama bin Laden over and over again.
yeah. Let's see about that.
Is it? Oh, Hi-Fi is muted.
Stop it.
Why you were muted that whole time, buddy?
I was muted or Hi-Fi was
No,
muted?
hi-fi was.
Well,
Did
that's
you
maybe
mute
Yeah.
me?
one way we don't talk over each other.
Okay, gotcha.
Also, Manny's right about DAOs. Like he's not making that up. Just saying.
Um,
Oh,
I
are
just
we
don't
getting
need to hear it
trolls?
from him. Yeah,
Nope.
yeah.
It's
I just
okay.
wanna-
Trolling?
I
He's talking about
totally love
DAOs. Those are real.
everybody, and I want everyone to hug a troll. I want everyone to know that trolls need love too. If your career dried up and the only way to turn a buck was to work for the transnational mob, by creating characters to take out democracy, I feel for you. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
feel for
Hey,
people who
hey,
are
Hi-Fi,
out
can
of
you get rid of
options.
this idiot 1 second name, please?
Gotcha.
It's a like Cassandra LARP.
Yeah, it's so this is what our live streams are going to be now. They're just going to send trolls at us, really? Like, come
Basically.
on, guys.
You know why? I'll tell you
Because we
exactly
do
why.
good work.
Yeah, no, we do good work, but no, I'm serious. We are the most dangerous show in America. And it's
Apparently.
because, no, you know why? Because I have worked with these men when it comes to investigating, and we are so wildly independent. It's incredible. It's like not
So
owned by a corporation. You know what I mean? There's no hedge funds. Like literally, like we have a Patreon right now that's up to $280 a month. Go us. You know what I'm saying? Like what? You know?
yeah,
And you want to know
we got a
something?
ways to
For this
go to
old
catch
school
up to
journal,
70 grand a month.
for this old school journal, I'm just going to say that it is a freaking honor to be of service at during a time of massively grave deception. I am so glad. I am so glad. As long as we can freaking think and speak for ourselves, what a freaking honor.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be more of an honor for everyone to leave us the fuck alone and let us do our thing. But
Nah,
that'll
nah.
come later.
I will give Manny this. At least he's a semi-witty troll. I mean, he at least has he has a sense of humor,
You know,
But he is what he
here's the
is.
thing. When Manny's trolling, you know it.
Yeah.
I don't think he's
That's a
trolling
compliment,
anybody.
it sounds like.
It
I mean,
is.
yeah, it's a
No,
skill
I'm
thing from
serious.
my
Like
point of
it's
view. I
clear
mean,
when
that's what I
What's
did.
funny?
when he's on his
Everybody but
game, it's obvious.
here's what's funny. Everybody but our baby Connor is in our 50s, and I'm closer to 60 than I was to 50, right? And yet this kind of sixth grade, middle school, bullying thing just never went out of vogue, I guess. And particularly if you can get paid, to work for,
Yeah,
say, a handler from perhaps a foreign country, why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, but I wouldn't want to live
yeah.
like
Well,
that. It would just be too
Wouldn't
difficult.
it be weird if some of these people had foreign handlers? Wouldn't that be weird? That'd be
I don't
fucking
know.
weird, wouldn't it?
It'd be even
Well,
weirder if they were stupid enough to communicate with
Okay.
you over.
Yeah, why don't we
so
look at the let's look at the Freedom Convoy money.
yes,
We can't.
let's
We
look
can't.
let's look
Yeah,
at the
We can't take you
convoy
anywhere.
money.
High five.
we're gonna look at see what they're up to. how much they're up to.
Hi-fi.
What? What?
You
There we go. Look at this.
can't help
Okay, so
yourself.
do you guys remember the numbers from
Okay.
Sunday?
Holy cow.
3 million. It was 3 million on Sunday.
Oh,
It's Thursday.
man.
It's
Oh,
8 million.
wow.
Okay, now, Sean, let's bring up that court case picture. Tell me you got it. Tell me you got it right
I
there.
do, but hold on.
This
we
is
got
the
some-
best part.
No, wait. Let's just stop
Marie's
and
going
look
to be
at
our
this for a
foreign
second.
handler.
Let's look
So-
at this. Let's look at this for a quick
Oh,
recap.
okay. So hold on. Let's talk about that comment. The top comment there. That is actually a white supremacist dog whistle. I forget what that has to do with. Oh yeah, it's the clown honking the nose at the misery of existence and how everyone should be killed.
Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a pretty
Wow.
dark one. Honk honk. Yeah, it's a Pepe meme, right? They dress him up like a clown. You got
Yeah.
the nose, and yeah, it's a nihilistic. You kill everything, everyone. If you know
Wow.
who Supreme Gentleman is, it's that kind of BS history. It's really kind of
Wow.
unfortunate, but not unexpected. Considering if you scroll down on the comments, you'll see something there. I kind of want to point out the gray part over there.
Oh, this part, yeah.
Yeah, that part. Go down to the bottom
Wow.
there.
They took it
Bottom
off.
there. Oh, so did they take it off?
Yep.
All right. Well, it used to say sup Kurtner, because apparently they think that the guy who started Anonymous is the one messing with them. I don't know why they think that, but whatever.
Well, what's interesting about
They
this
said
is, do you
they
guys,
said sup Curtainer on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that image. We could put it on the Twitter or something.
Wow.
I don't know.
what's interesting
yeah.
to me is when we had Brad Galloway from the Ontario Tech, center that deals with hate, bias, and extremism. He did say that only 10% of the truckers in Canada were unvaccinated, that clearly this was an operation. But what he also said that was so interesting to me is that he said it has nothing to do with vaccines. This is a white supremacy movement. And what have we seen over and over and over? And you guys, because this is the work that you do. I mean, that blew me away. And here we're seeing evidence of that in real time.
Well, I was scrolling down. Look at this, Heidi. So look at these names. Look at, where is it? Here we go. This guy. Right?
Wow.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
obviously, that's his
Horrified.
real name.
Now,
right?
I want to just state, now, I just want to say something. Give Send Go touts itself as the
First
fundraising
Christian,
site for the Christians. That's
Number
just what I'm
one
saying.
free Christian. Okay, so there was that paper that came out about Christian nationalism from CEPA, right?
Yeah.
CEPA.org did a really nice breakdown of what Christian nationalism has turned into, how they're a splinter sects in the American evangelical movement who have gone
I
extremist.
quoted them
Wow.
about hybrid warfare in an article today.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Yeah, no, I think that when I say that I want to bring the Christians back toward the side of good, it's like obviously folks have been weaponized and cultified and brainwashed, and it's been part of a long game, but it was probably less than 100 years ago when the evangelicals actually cared about the poor, cared about the downtrodden. And I was actually watching Ken Burns' series on prohibition. And there's this badass woman named Carrie Nation who went around with the, freaking hatchet, like, slicing and dicing, bars, because she just thought that, she didn't want to see people amoral in their cups. But I'm saying, like, people had like a desire to do good, and
Yeah.
now it's been weaponized. And that report that Hi-Fi sent, I don't know if it relates to this, about how the Christian right was weaponized to be at January 6th. Do you remember all those interviews with people present saying, I'm a woman of God, hang Pence? Like, that to me is like, I don't understand how you can be a woman of God
Look,
and then in the same breath, it's cult, right? It's cult.
Here's the thing. Religion is used for two things, right? It's used for offense and it's used for defense,
Oh,
right?
wow.
It's
Yeah.
and when it goes on offense, it does shit like the Crusades, right? It does shit like very, very bad shit.
Yeah. Wow.
Religion.
Well, if you look at any
hold on.
extremism,
Religion, like I'm an
Yeah.
atheist. I'm going to say it straight up. But I've gained a respect for real, religion and faith that I didn't have before. But the reality is that religion does soften you up to the idea of magical thinking, right? If you believe
Oh,
that there is
yeah.
a giant God up in the sky sitting on a throne and all that shit, then you've already kind of taken a step in the direction of believing something that isn't real. And sorry
Hmm.
for all the believers out there, but that's my opinion. Anyway, so religion gets used as a vector to influence people, right? And sometimes it's used for good. People they use it to bring people together and in religious ceremonies, and they do good works, right? But the same exact mechanism can be used to fucking mind fuck people, right? Which is what's
Yeah.
been happening in churches all over the country, right?
In a very
You've got
coordinated way.
you've got
in a
these
very
guys
coordinated way.
whose entire church is just there to brainwash people. Like, you got Greg Locke out there going,
And make money.
to his conference. It's not
There you go. There's the
There it
it
is.
paper.
has
There it
nothing
is.
to do
Yeah.
with Jesus Christ or God or anything else at
Yeah, I
that
guess
No.
point.
if you're interested, just
No.
really check out this report. It's pretty well. It's kind of confirms a lot of the things that
It
other people have
confirms
been
what we've
reporting. But
known. Yes.
yeah, it's pretty good. Their breakdown is really good, and especially I think network,
Well,
the network of Christian nationals and the events. Sort of the timeline it out. That's really
I think the
revealing.
important thing here with this is the authors actually, who actually wrote it. If you go towards the end, there's a list of all the authors, and these are actually members of Christian organizations who are writing this. It's
Yeah.
not it's
Oh,
not
that's right. Yeah, this isn't.
criticism from an
Yep,
atheist or a Buddhist or
oh,
whatever.
yep.
It
These
is
were
Christians
there's
criticizing themselves, which I
yeah.
think is important for people to understand.
So I just want to say one thing. There was a representative named Joyce Beatty who had asked another representative, I believe from Kentucky, named Hal Rogers, to put on a mask while boarding a train. He poked her in the back, according to her, demanding that she gets on the train. And when she asked him not to touch her, he responded, "Kiss my ass." Now, I looked up Hal Rogers. He's apparently a Baptist. And I tweeted out to him, you owe the lady an apology. And what would Jesus do? Because I was kind of like being a punk ass. But under what circumstances does that make you a man of faith? Like what kind of man are you? What kind of inhuman way are you treating your colleagues? So,
You know,
we have a major infection here.
what I watched last night? The Eyes of Tammy Faye, which is
Oh,
fascinating, actually. Like,
oh,
It's like
because
the righteous gemstones. That's pretty fascinating.
I mean, yeah, there's stuff like The Family or whatever on Netflix, which is
yeah.
better.
Yeah, that's good.
But it's very interesting to see these two who I think genuinely felt like they were being, somehow pious, but yet
Hmm.
were just corrupt as fuck.
Yeah.
The
Anointed
interesting
to grift.
Yeah, the
That's who.
interesting thing is Tammy Faye was a super advocate for AIDS research and
Hmm.
for equality with gays and lesbians, all
Right.
for her entire life, despite the pushback that they got. There's an
Wow.
interesting
Good on
part
her.
where they caught him having gay sex and bilking all of his people out of hundreds of millions of dollars, and yet and Jerry Falwell comes in and says, "We'll take care of you," and basically just fucking throws him to the wolves and leaves Tammy
Wow.
Faye in a little apartment, basically crying alone. And
Wow. With
there's
her
nothing
tattooed makeup.
Christian about it. There's nothing they felt like they were doing some good, but it just got all twisted around power and money
Tony,
You
until
did
they
something with your Substack
completely.
today on a similar note. There was a CNN ad that you called out on your Substack today. Do you
Oh
remember
my
what that
god.
was?
Yeah, it's fucking Franklin Graham, Billy Graham's son, doing an anti-vax propaganda on fucking
Oh my
CNN.
God, on CNN.
I mean,
Wow.
it was barely
Wow.
concealed. It was like, are you tired of people telling you what to do about COVID? It's like,
Wow.
trust in God. I'm like, no,
No,
dude,
I
fuck
trust
you.
scientists and doctors. Fuck you, buddy.
No, no,
Sorry.
no, no.
Yep.
But CNN got money for him to say that on their air in between them doing stories about disinformation. It's
Yeah.
fucking
Ugh.
stupid. Somebody
Ugh.
needs to wake up over there. Like, that guy is not a good guy. He
Wow.
is not.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Wow.
it's a little bit like having,
What
Sidney
was
Powell
that?
do a
What was
fucking
that
ad.
Fairness
Right.
Act? The Fairness Act that Reagan
Fairness
got rid of?
doctrine. Yeah.
The
Fairness
Fairness
The
Doctrine.
Fairness
Doctrine.
Doctrine.
It
Yeah.
really
Just
that needs to be back
that was the
because
beginning.
this is
That was the beginning
ridiculous.
of the end.
Yeah.
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 Right.
Literally
Yeah.
the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
And that was lobbied for by guess who?
Yep.
Yeah.
By
Right.
the right wing, by the religious right,
Well,
Right.
because
yeah.
they wanted to be free to brainwash people on
Well,
TV
well done.
and
They're
then
doing a great
online.
job. I
They
Well,
do
it's
really
love
are.
funny.
my
It's funny because
superhero
then,
power.
well, now they complain and argue that everything's skewed against them, and everyone, there's a liberal bias. Once they're clear, there's not on Twitter. All the tech companies are biased against the right. They're not.
Right.
It's always proven in
Well,
Facebook
that's
and
the
Twitter.
reason they put that message out. That's the
Oh yeah.
reason. Oh, we're being censored. We're the right. We're being censored. They're censoring conservative voices.
Well, I
Bullshit. You're
have a
actually
whole
Yeah.
thread
working
on
with
that.
them.
It's like you guys have
It's
Peter Thiel. He owns all the tech that runs the deepest part of the right. The government.
ooh.
Well, that
I,
whole victim machine was created under Nixon. I did a whole thread on that where basically Nixon in a peak was annoyed with how the coverage was of him, and he created the right wing victim machine, and it's been humming along ever since.
And then Newt Gingrich got a hold of
quiz time. Quiz
Gingrich's
time.
tapes. Yep.
What political operative was present from Nixon's
Roger
presidency?
Stone.
There you go.
Come on.
All the
That
way,
was
all the
too
way to
easy.
QAnon and
I was
Proud
hoping you were
Boys.
going to come up with something better,
Well,
because I could
we
tell
might have
immediately before
newer
you even said
people in the
Nixon.
audience, newer people.
Yeah.
Hey, is
Wow.
Roger Once still on Twitter, or did she get banned yet?
I have no idea. I I hope so.
This is a good time.
She's a nice lady.
She is a nice lady and got
She's been through some trauma.
absolutely traumatized by that motherfucker who needs
Yeah.
to be in jail 50 years ago.
Roger
the fuck?
Stone. I mean, how many more
Yes.
elections is he going to help
He's been rat
sway?
fucking since
Brooks Brothers
Watergate.
riot.
What are we doing?
I guess
Yes.
because he charms media. So we have 3 minutes left.
I'm gonna. This is a good time to throw in the second anagram for you guys.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Ask a hard.
This
Sorry,
is America first.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Stop it.
Anybody?
Stop it.
By the
Okay.
way, this is an old clue.
Oh! I'm racist fear.
Well, there you go.
Oh my
You heard
gosh.
it here first, people.
Sean,
America first.
you're a genius.
No,
The
I'm not.
anagram
Wow.
candidate.
Oh my gosh.
You just unscramble the letters. It's fun. But yeah, that's a good one too, right?
Well, when we have our meetings, we never know what Sean's saying. Okay, Sean, can you just do your Boomhauser a little bit for our...
No, it's embarrassing.
Okay.
It's hysterical, dude.
I've tried hard
I just want everyone to understand how fucked up it is. Like, I know most people probably do if you've been following us for a while, but America First was the slogan of the KKK in the 20s and 30s.
That's why I'm
one
racist
nation,
fear is so
one
brilliant.
God.
That's probably why they called it
was America First, one nation, one God, which is what Mike Flynn said he wants, right? He wants a one religion, right?
Yeah.
America First is a KKK slogan. And it was then picked up by the American Nazi Party by Charles Lindbergh. So let's be real fucking clear about what America First means. It means I'm racist fear. That's exactly what it means. That's exactly why they use it, is because it's not a dog whistle. It's a fucking like big hunk of meat.
Have you noticed that
that's what it is?
Have you noticed that like mainstream media is starting to catch on to the great replacement theory thing that we've known about for
thanks, guys.
everybody?
Yeah,
I'm
I've seen it
glad.
pop up.
It's been a fucking year, but I'm
I
And
was
a
glad.
half.
starting to tell you guys that my superhero power is I have not had a television since 2006. It's going to be
Nice.
16 years that I'm celebrating that. Everything that you see on television that's newsworthy originates in print in further detail. So I'm a print girl. But, I see these clips, and I will always say this. You guys are doing the work that I can no longer do, having been a television news producer and having post-traumatic news syndrome. I can't go into the black holes that you guys go into these places you go. So I thank you so much for bringing us the news, because unfortunately, as you can see, our country is being destroyed from within by the things that you guys point out and investigate, which is why we are the most dangerous show in America. Tune in on Sunday.
Yeah. Who's so dangerous?
Tune in on Sunday. Oh,
Especially
cow.
RadPod.
You know
Look how
what? I
dangerous
forgot
he
to mention
is.
something. Dutch Parliament. I think we're going to be the most dangerous show in Europe too, eventually, or at least have
Okay.
like a Europe branch,
We're huge in
Yeah.
because they're starting to listen to us. You know how Marty was talking about sanctioning the oligarchs?
Yeah, that's what
Yes.
happens. Yeah, they're doing it now.
Yeah, yeah. The
Or they're
Dutch Parliament is voting on that. So far, it looks like it's passing, right?
yeah, it's wonderful.
And
Well, they just got to stop taking the money, though. Like, stop
yeah,
taking the
well, I mean,
money. Give all
there's
the
so
dirty
many
money back.
things.
Give it
Give it
back
all.
to the
Well,
people.
give it all to people. I want my 10.
Here's the other
Sharon,
thing I
Anyway.
love that's happening in the EU. When Facebook said, "Well,
Sharon,
we're
the
gonna,
answer to your question is nothing. You didn't miss anything. Well, we record on Sunday and release on Monday.
Oh,
I
yes,
didn't
Yeah,
that's
so
miss
we're
right. I
talking about Monday's
apologize. I
episode.
Come
apologize
on.
for
Sharon.
that. Yes. Yeah, I tell Sharon I love her so much.
Yes, sir. We
But
love
no,
you.
Me too.
the
Back at her.
EU, dudes. When Facebook said, "Well, we're gonna just pull out," the EU was like, "Fine, we don't need you. Like, fine, like go away. Like, or we may be better off without you."
Yep,
Wow,
that's
it's
what they said.
interesting. It is. It's going to be like a war between like big tech and democracy, with all the transnational mob money funding the various operations. And man, wouldn't it be nice if democracy won? Like, wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't it be great if the world could be, hopeful and beautiful for our children? That's why we fight, That's why we do it.
Yep.
And on
Strange.
that happy note.
Yeah. Great.
I forgot what
All
we were
right.
talking about.
Dead air. Thanks, Heidi. Dead
I
Yeah.
forgot what we were talking about.
No,
Right.
I just think it's
What?
good to reflect on the reasons that we do this. We don't do this
Yeah.
because we like to be attacked. We don't do this because it's cute or fun. We do it because we have children and we want our world to, survive this authoritarian attack and capture that we're currently under. That's facilitated by the transnational mob, big tech, some mentally ill leaders that need to be, probably locked up and the key thrown away.
Yeah. I wonder, there have been some Russian generals who have come out about Putin and the invading Ukraine thing, and
Get
it
on
looks
with
like
it.
he's losing
Get on
popular
with it.
support. I wonder
care
how
of
many
your boy.
Russians are willing to die for their president's issues, his insanity, his whatever problem he has that he's like, I have to send people
It's
off to
affecting
die.
the world. It's affecting the
I
world. Get
mean,
on with
you
it.
could certainly ask the same question about Trump, right? Or like,
Oh yeah.
the
How
thing
many died
is
on Trump's
that
watch?
fascists use undue influence on people, right? Whether
Yeah.
it's full on brainwashing or not, like
Yeah.
undue influence, can work in many ways. And being in oppression for decades,
Yeah.
fucks with people's minds.
It does.
And it makes it
It's
hard
also-
for
yeah.
them to see a way, see
Yeah.
sunshine or whatever.
And the defenestration of journalists, as well.
that
So-
doesn't help.
That
right?
doesn't help. But
It's a weird
John?
time right now. I think also my brother was in the army. He was in the honor guard for 8 years, whatever. And he said when he was in basic training, it was the first war, and that it shifted when they were doing training from wearing the fatigues, the Vietnam fatigues, the green and brown, into the now the desert sort of colors, And so he said half of his training was against one enemy, right, and then it shifted while he was in, in
Wow.
the military to another one. And it was, he said, it was strange. Everything sort of changed. And, it wasn't overnight, but it started this way. By the time he got out, it was a totally different, methodology, enemy, etc. And that's kind of, I feel, similar now. Like when I was growing up, the right was had much different, it was family values, and it was very, rooted in, sort of religiosity and that sort of thinking. And it's sort of shifted, and now it's like the right is parroting, Putin ideology, which is a strange shift that's occurred, in our lifetime. Anyway,
I know, it's very strange. It's
Well,
it's
and it's
racist though. It's
blatant.
racism.
It's
Yeah.
blatant.
Hmm.
Like Tucker's just going on TV, just fucking straight up Putinizing, just straight up
But
like fucking don't like let Putin go into Ukraine. Whatever we do, we can't fuck with Putin. It's
well,
I mean, it's
strange.
amazing.
Hi-Fi and I talked about that today, and this is something that is so clear. All these dirty bastards have things on each other. They all have compromat on each other. That's why they
Poor
toe the party
Marco. Little
line.
Marco is
That's why they toe the party line. That's why they all stand in line, because obviously in various ways they've all been compromised in one way or another, and or they're terribly racist and believe in all these things, or terribly homophobic and are all anti. But at the end of the day, these are not good people, which is why I tweeted out today that integrity is so sexy, because it is. And more of that, please. And on that happy note, on the
Talks for
sexiness of
watching.
integrity,
Talks for watching.
talks for watching. Did you leave it? Or is our
I
segment still?
No.
I didn't have time. I didn't correct it.
Oh my
Oh,
God, I
that's
love
all
it.
right.
It doesn't know. It's talks for watching. That
Talks
is
for
our
watching,
that's the t-shirt. No, seriously, we thank you to the trolls because you keep on raising our profile, and we thank you to the true people who are not trolls, who are loving and supportive. We particularly like you guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Talks for watching.
Bye.
Talks for watching, guys.
Stay rad. The show is pure anarchy. I love it.
What?
Pure
Oh,
anarchy.
anarchy.
One last thing.